Hi guys, so we're gonna do a video about tips how to get pregnant. Most of them I did myself, but there's like 2 or 3 or something that I didn't do. And I wrote a list, so if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at the list. So yeah, if you guys want to see tips how to get pregnant fast like we did our first time, thank you. Okay, so the one of the first things that I started doing, um so basically I'm gonna do this like a 3 month span, like, so basically like 3 months before you want to start trying. I suggest preparing yourself and your body for 3 months before you start trying, so that when you do start trying, you don't, keep getting your hopes up or keep getting let down, and then you get discouraged and everything else. So yeah, I recommend starting 3 months before, like, preparing your body, your mind, everything for, to get pregnant, you and your partner, if it's a boy or a girl, whatever. Anyway, so one of the first things I started doing was taking maca. This is like the powder. They have the pills, like in pill form, like vitamins or whatever. But I don't know, I recommend that better. I would just put it in smoothies and I would drink every day. And she would like stay on top of me to make sure that I drank it every single day. Like when she would come home from work or whatever, she would be like, "Do you take your maca?" And so that's my first tip. My second tip is to start taking prenatals. And I suggest that you take prenatals with folate, not folic acid. Your doctor or other people will probably tell you, "Oh, take folic acid." Don't fucking take folic acid, because they don't know what they're talking about. That shit is no. The folic acid is the synthetic version of folate, and whenever you can, you always want to get the real version of whatever it is. So take folate. If you don't just believe what I'm saying, research it yourself. But yeah, take folate. Take folate. You could just get prenatals and look in the where like the vitamins are, like where it says the vitamins, then it should say folate instead of folic acid. And yeah, that's what you get. And then my number 3 is
fertility massage.
Yeah, it kind of goes with this. You could do it dry or with a different, oh shit, you can't even see the thing, or a different oil, but this is what I did. Okay, so basically if you use castor oil, like, you could just rub castor oil on yourself like regular, and it stimulates blood flow, and no, stimulate, encourages blood flow in your uterus and stimulates your reproductive organs. So yeah, but then she would do the fertility massage on me. You could do it on yourself too, like if you're having a baby by yourself, or like if you just rather do it yourself, or whatever the case, then you could do it on yourself. But it just felt better, and I don't know, I just felt like it was better that she did it. So
yeah, so basically we just like looked at like videos on YouTube for like fertility massages, and then like they were all the ones that we watched were just like people doing it to themselves. So I just copied what they did and did it on her. And I did that like probably, like, if I wouldn't say every day, like probably like multiple times, like a week, but like it was very like continuous. Like,
yeah, at least like 3 times a week if it was, but it was pretty much every day. But if it wasn't every day, then at least like 3-4 times a week. And then another thing that you can do is yoga, like fertility yoga. There are certain positions that you can do. I'll probably link the video that I watched in the description of the different yoga positions. They stimulate your reproductive organs, encourage blood flow. They I don't know, it relaxes you, makes your body healthy in the inside and stuff like that. So I really recommend doing that. Another thing I recommend is tracking your ovulation. I've read a lot of articles that like say that how you put in my hair that what are they called, the fertility sticks, the ovulation tracker sticky things. I don't know what they're called right now, but anyways, I've read like a lot of articles that say that they're inaccurate and they don't work. So I mean, if you want to waste your money on that, that's up to you. But if like, I recommend just tracking your period like with a calendar or an app. I used an app. The app that I used a lot of apps, but the one that I used that was most accurate was Astro Secret, and that's the one that I followed to track my ovulation. And that's the one that we used like when I got pregnant. So I have hiccups. So obviously, I mean, that worked for me. Everybody's different, but that's what worked for me. You can do both, but at least if you're not gonna do the ovulation sticks, then at least track your period either like on a calendar manually or get an app or whatever. There's like fertility apps and stuff like that you could get, but I just got like a period app, and it tells you like when's your ovulation days and stuff like that, and you can track when you either inseminate or have sex or whatever. So you can like remember, oh, we did it this day, so we should do it this day. Which that brings me to another thing is, if you're inseminating or having intercourse, it's recommended that you do it every other day during your ovulation. So say like like you start ovulating on a Tuesday, the Saturday before you want to start that Saturday. So do it Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and then all the way through until you're done ovulating. But it's recommended to start 2 to 3 days before ovulation. So either you could start on Sunday or Saturday, for example. But yeah, it's you should start 2 to 3 days before you start ovulating, which is what we did. And do it every other day, like either if you're inseminating or whatever, if you can do it multiple times during the ovulation, do it. And just do it every other day, however many times you can. Another thing that I really recommend is affirmations. I know it sounds like like some hippie shit or like weird or whatever, but I'm telling you, it like plays a really big part that you're positive and you have faith in yourself and your body to carry a baby. Because if you keep telling yourself, oh, I can't have a baby, chances are it's gonna take you longer to have a baby, if at all. So if you have confidence in yourself and you have faith in yourself, it's just like you can make yourself sick just by keep telling yourself you're sick. Like, sorry, I accidentally elbowed her in the face. But yeah, so like just telling yourself like, I have faith in you that you can carry this baby. Like you're strong, your body is strong, stuff like that. And telling yourself like, I can get pregnant, this is gonna work. And then when you do inseminate, like, this is gonna work, this is working, like it's gonna happen, I'm gonna have a healthy baby, all that good stuff.
Yeah, your significant other should like be very positive about it too, especially like if you're not, you need someone to be like very positive with you, because she was just not positive, and I had to be the real positive one. And it was hard because when you have a dark humor like me, it's hard. Yeah, but she got on that positivity, and before we knew it, like, I mean, like when we did it, like she just knew, like that was it.
Yeah, literally, like pretty much right away I was like, oh, this working.
Like if you're doing it like by yourself or like whatever, or whoever. I don't know.
Just be positive. Be a positive ass person.
And then like make sure you have people around you that like are positive too. Don't sit here and be around like fucking weirdos and shit.
No negative people, no toxic people. If you really want to have a baby and you're really like in the position where you can have a baby, like it's not gonna be like y'all gonna be on the streets or some shit like that, then like, you know, if you're alone or whatever it is, don't let people discourage you or tell you like you should have a baby or whatever. Like if you want to have a fucking baby, you can have a baby. You're the one who's gonna be raising it. It's your life.
Single moms raise football and basketball players.
So yeah, like just be. You know, there's a lot of people that I had to cut off because they were like negative or judgmental or toxic or whatever it was, and that's not something that you want around your kid anyway. So just cut them off. Like,
I mean, even if you don't want to like cut them off completely, like cut them off at least while you're
trying,
while you're pregnant, because them motherfuckers will stress you out. Like, even if it's family, like, you know, sometimes you just need a break, and if they can't understand that, then goodbye.
It's too bad for them. Another thing that I recommend that you do is like, I'm gonna start like with the diet tips now. Eliminate red dye from your diet. Anything with red dye in it, like you look in the ingredients, you know, like this part is this part right here where the ingredients are of anything, and make sure there's no red dye in it. Like even if it's not the color of red, there could still be red dye in it. So just make sure there's no red dye in the stuff that you're eating and drinking.
Like Jolly Ranchers, shit like that, like
candy, drinks, slushies, juice, you know, anything, like even like chips that have, you know, red chips or orange or pink candy or whatever, you know, just make sure there's no red dye in the stuff that you're eating. You can look it up why, but basically it prevents you from like being fertile. Like it basically aids in infertility. So
red Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, look it up. Just look it up. Like, why is red dye bad for your whatever? You could look up, like, you know, the comparison of green, blue, and red dye and everything. You know, just like anything I'm saying in here, don't just take my word for it. Go and do your own research. You always do your own research. You know, it doesn't matter who's telling you, your mom, your best friend, your doctor, anybody. You do your own research for everything. So yeah,
especially for doctors telling you.
But if you yeah, so red dye is a no. Just stay away from it. Like, it's not that serious. You could go like a year without having stuff with red dye. Like, it's not that hard. I haven't had it in a long time, so I think I had like 2 candies that had red dye in it, but like I wasn't thinking about it, and then I read it after and I stopped eating it. So it's not that hard. And then another diet tip is either eliminating or at least reducing your intake of starch and caffeine, like potatoes, rice, you know, stuff like that. Just, you know, cut down on that, because that also can make you infertile and take you longer to get pregnant. And then caffeine,
which was hard for us.
I have hiccups. Yeah, really hard, because
we eat potatoes like every day.
We eat potatoes almost every day, and I eat rice with everything. Like, that's how my family is. We love rice. We eat rice all the time. Like, my dad will eat rice with pancakes. Like, you know, we're Colombian. Colombians eat rice, so.
I just love rice. Like, I just love rice so much. I love potatoes too.
Yeah, they're really good. Trust me, don't get me wrong. And I eat it now that I'm pregnant every now and then. But at least while you're try to, you know, at least decrease the intake of it. And also eat a lot of leafy green veggies, like, you know, spinach, lettuce, stuff like that. And my other tip is, I showed it in the other 2 videos, but I'm going to show it again. Can you hand me that bag, please?
No.
My other tip is to use precede when you're inseminating, even if you're having intercourse with like, you know, an actual person. Use this. I highly recommend you use this. It helps the little fishies swim where they need to go. So get this. It's only like $12. How much was this? Like, I don't know.
No, I stole it. I was just playing. I don't know, probably. I think it was 13.
Yeah, it was around there. Whatever. It's not that expensive. It's like under $20 at CVS or Walgreens. Pretty sure Walmart or Target will have it too. But yeah, and you know Walgreens is the more expensive store, and it was only like $13. So get this. I highly recommend it. It says for use when trying to get pregnant, clinically shown to be fertility friendly, helps support sperm quality, and mimics your own fertile fluids. So yeah, use this. It will help.
You could use it if you have a man's too.
Yeah.
I mean,
even it doesn't matter, like
he's weak or something. I don't know.
it helps. Also, by the way, if you're like a guy and a girl having a baby, or you know, if you're like
a straight couple,
even if you're not even a guy and a girl, your donor, make sure your donor is being healthy. Make sure your donor swimmers are swimming, because some women think that it's their fault they're not getting pregnant, when really it's your man's. So make sure, try to get him checked if you can get him checked. If not, have him follow the diet tips that I recommended. No smoking, no drinking. Okay, so another tip about even if you're like having actual sex or you know, insemination, whatever you're doing, stay in the bed after for at least like 20 minutes. Like, you know, if
30.
you at least 20, but I recommend 30, but at least 20. Like, that's the least you should be, you know, laying down. Like, lay down. You could be flat if you want to, but I, you know, recommend putting your legs up. I just put my feet up on the wall and had pillows under my hips. I recommend, you know, having your pelvis more up. So, you know, gravity, guys. Gravity. Let's go back to second grade. Don't forget, that's one thing that is actually helpful that we learned in school. Gravity. So you want to be like at an angle like this, like these are your legs and this is, you know, like your stomach and stuff. You want to be like that, so like, you know, it's easier for the sperm to go where it's supposed to go. And also, if you've been trying for a long time, like more than 3 months, or for 3 months, take a break. Like, if like you could do it for like 1, 2, 3 months, and then if it doesn't work, month 4, don't do anything for that month, and then month 5 you could try again. You know, if you know everybody doesn't get pregnant their first, second, third time, don't get discouraged. Just, you know, keep being positive and keep learning new things that you and your partner can do to, you know, increase your chances of getting pregnant. But take a break, because it can be, you know, really hard on not just your body but your mental. You know, like if you just keep trying to get pregnant and you're not getting pregnant, it can really, you know, F you up. So, and then you don't want to be effed up and then you actually do end up getting pregnant, you know. So or like, you know, you don't want to be like, you could have a chance of getting pregnant but now you're being all like negative. So, you know, just if you need to take a break, take a break. And then my last tip is probably the most important one, is to cleanse your uterus and your yoni. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. You can do it by detox baths. You can do yoni steaming. You could get yoni oil. You can get glow sticks. You can get yoni pearls. There's a lot of things. By cleanse, I mean cleanse like from the inside. I don't mean like, you know, eating stuff like to do a detox and stuff like that, which you could do too. But I'm talking cleansing from, you know, the source, you know. So yeah, I'll link the Instagram page that I like for getting, you know, fertility help. Ever since I got pregnant, there's been at least like 12 other girls who have gotten pregnant by using their products. So I highly recommend going from getting from them. And I just got the uni pearls. I only did one cleanse, and I ended up getting pregnant, I think, the next week. So I have hiccups again.
They're black owned, so
yes, black owned business, support black owned business, and it's a woman's business, support women's business, but especially black women. So yeah,
period.
Hop on it, get that, buy from them. They have pretty much everything that I just listed right there.
Cheap too, though. Like,
they have good prices. They have sales all the time. Like, you could get like 99 cents yoni pearls, and it's 3 in a pack. So it's not like you're just getting one for 99 cents. It's 3 for 99 cents, and they're usually like $16 for 3. So, you know, follow them. So when they have sales, you can catch them and stuff. But yeah, cleanse your yoni. Like, that's my number one tip, is do that. They have everything pretty much that I just listed on there. You can make yourself like a detox bath. You can make yourself yoni steam. You could just Google, you know, how to make yoni steam or yoni bath or whatever. But the pearls you can't really make yourself, or it's more difficult to make yourself. So I suggest just buying them. Honestly, it's not, I mean, if you can, you know, do what you can do. But that's just those are my recommendations for how to get pregnant fast and boost your fertility. And yeah, so honestly, for our next video, we might let you guys pick what we do. So comment in the comments what you guys want to see our next video.
Ooh, you get to pick.
And we're gonna do a Q&A soon, but I wanted to get like more subscribers and stuff like that before we do a Q&A. So maybe like we'll get better questions or more questions or whatever. So yeah, follow us on our social media, so when we do the Q&A, you can ask questions and comment down below what video you want to see next. Like this video, you like this, subscribe it, share it to your friends so they can get pregnant. We can all be pregnant homies together.